DMV is a pretty decent story. This is the 18th episode of the first season of the Looney Tunes show, and this focuses on Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Lola Bunny, and Porky Pig. And Bugs and Daffy are off out. Daffy is wearing a pretty interesting costume, and he ends up having to take his driving test. And he has to do the theory and the practical, and then something happens, and Lola Bunny has to do her test, and then Porky Pig becomes involved, and then Bugs Bunny is at the DMV. And I don't want to say too much about the specifics, but there's a lot going on for a lot of characters, and I think everything was juggled really well. I think each character got a fair amount of screen time, and Porky in particular just had the best facial expressions. I thought he was very, very cute throughout this. I don't drive, I'm not interested in cars, but that did not affect my enjoyment of this episode at all. I thought it worked really well, and the animation itself is very pleasing, very effective. Yosemite Sam also has an interesting role to play in this one as well, and I liked his interactions with the other characters. So I have no complaints with this one. It's a pretty straightforward narrative, even though there are a lot of different characters all kind of involved in the same story. It also just works really well with a pretty great narrative structure and a great cast of characters. Absolutely, we have loads of great characters in this one. I'm not a huge fan of Lola Bunny. I've mentioned this before, but I don't think she annoyed me once in this episode. And in fact, the whole thing about being an organ donor I rather liked. I found that to be entertaining and a great message as well. So even a character I'm not normally a huge fan of didn't bother me too much, and I'm taking that as being a very good sign. So not a bad cartoon at all. If you haven't seen it and you're a fan of Looney Tunes, then I'd say DMV is one that's definitely worth checking out.